You guys, come on.
KNFB Reader, they finally updated it.
Accessible Media Incorporated, the radio station up there, they have lots of shows, Kelly and Company. Well, the list goes on. And I met Dave Brown. He has
Did you say Killing Company?
Kelly and Company.
Oh, Kelly and Company. Big difference than Killing Company.
You betcha, with cookies and milk.
And I turned on the noise cancellation. I was just like, gone. Everything was gone.
Well, now when people ask trivia, whose mom has been on That Blind Tech Show, I could say me.
I use Scene AI, and then for work, I will scan something to myself, and then Adobe Pro is fantastic.
What's Adobe Pro?
It's a software that works with Windows.
Oh, what's Windows? Kids are so screwed today. I mean, how do they sneak out of the house, Lori?
Well, my kids are 20 and 23, so they can leave and never come back, and I would be okay with it.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another That Blind Tech Show. We have interesting guests here today because it's Thompson Squared. You can do the math. Joining us today, the better half of Jeff Thompson. How you doing today, Lori?
I am finer than frog hair.
I'm a little confused. Frog hair? Do you have a pet frog?
No.
Is that a Minnesota expression that I'm not hip on?
It's just a little thing we say here, yes. Mm-hmm.
Finer than frog hair.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know frogs had hair. I am not a frog fan. I'm not a snake fan. I have a big thing with any kind of reptiles. And the other half of the Thompson twins, which that would make your marriage kind of creepy if that was true. But Jeff Thompson, how you doing today, Jeff?
Ribbit. Yes, Brian. I, too, am doing fine.
Finer than frog hair.
Yeah, fine as frog hair. You betcha.
Now, how do you like having your wife on the show? I guess it's kind of a little too early to ask that. We'll have to ask that question again at the end, huh?
Yeah, I'll remember to remind you of that.
Thanks, because we know I screw at least one thing up on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure I'll forget. You know, we've been traveling around here, and it's the holiday season. We're going to be doing some more traveling. But, Jeff, you went north of the border. You invaded Canada. You successfully made it back. How was your adventure up in Canada?
It was really great. I went up to Toronto, and I met Nick D'Ambrosio up there. He's on Blind Abilities now and then, contributor. And I went to Accessible Media Incorporated, the radio station up there, and that's the government-funded station that, you know, they have lots of shows, Kelly and Company. Well, the list goes on. And I met Dave Brown. He has
Did you say Killing Company?
Kelly and
Kelly
Company.
and Company. Big difference than Killing Company.
Let me slow that down.
Killing Company, that sounded kind of bad.
Yeah, and Dave Brown runs a show up there. Kelly is up there. Ramya is up there. And they run Kelly and Company, which is a show that I got to be on their roundtable, and that was really fun. And got to see Nick do he got to sit in most of the day there for some shows and stuff on Dave Brown's show, and he did some sports and stuff. But it was really neat to see the stuff going on in the background, like the producers. Oh, don't ask another question. We got to get this done in 5 minutes. Oh, dang it. So, you know, they're time crunching because it's live. And it was really neat to see how all the moving pieces work together and come together and put out a show. Because, you know, like we do podcasts, we edit it, then we put it out, we make sure it's good for the listeners. But live, you have to be good because as soon as you send it, it's gone. You can't edit it.
That's true. Now, being up behind the Iron Curtain in Canada and having Nick show you around, did you get the Goodfellas treatment when you went all around, where you got to kind of just walk into the back of restaurants and sit down right at a table? Did Nick roll out the red carpet for you?
Yeah, Nicky did a good job. If he asked me back, I'd go back again. But, you know, I'm not a backdoor man. I'll go in the front door. They had some really good restaurants right inside the hotel we were in, which was really good. It's pretty much just like here in Minnesota or New York. They call it a miniature New York, but everything, they speak English. And
as the New Yorker laughs, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's very familiar. We went to the International Hockey Hall of Fame, and Nick and his friend, Nick, I don't think they're parents have much imagination. Everyone's name is Nick up there. So we did the Hall of Fame, and that was really cool to listen to them, who are really big hockey buffs, just jam, and stuff. It was really fun.
That's awesome. Now, Lori, I know Jeff flew solo on that trip. You travel a lot. You were at the NFB conference in July, and I know you jetted all around, went up to Los Angeles while you were out in Las Vegas. My question to you, as somebody that travels with a guide dog, when you get to an airport, do you ask for assistance getting to the gate, or do you like to try and do it all on your own?
Well, now that I have Aira, I utilize it. So I do try to get to the gate by myself. In the past, I would ask for assistance. And it's funny because now that I do use Aira, I use my earbuds. I've got my glasses on. And so, I'm listening to someone and I'm talking to someone on the other end. I have more people try to intervene with the help that I'm getting through Aira than I ever did before. They're like, oh, I guess because I'm talking to myself, or at least they think I am.
They think not only are you blind, but you're insane.
Exactly.
Question for you, because I have that happen to me a lot as well. What do you do when somebody comes up talking and you're talking to the IRA agent? Do you hang up on the IRA agent right away, or do you tell the sighted person that's trying to help you, no, I'm okay? Or do you, depending on the situation, does it vary?
So I do try to tell the person that's approaching me that I'm fine. I've got someone, I'm talking to someone, and they just can't comprehend the technology. So I do try to say, I've got this device, they're talking in my ear, they're giving me guidance, I'm going to locate the gate or the restaurant or whatever I'm looking for within the airport. And a lot of times they just stand and, kind of watch.
In awe?
Yeah. And most of the time they'll say, oh, okay, but I get approached more now than what I ever did. Even when I was like more vision with the white cane, I get more approaches now using Aira than I did prior.
Yeah, well, most sighted people still can't believe that blind people could work smartphones. I was sitting on a flight just the other day, and I'm flicking all around, and I've got screen curtain on, and the woman taps me, and she's like, how are you doing anything on your phone? It's completely black. And I got into it, and she was very interested. Whenever anybody asks you that, they're always very interested to hear how you're using the iPhone.
I thought it was just a fidget phone.
A fidget phone? What's a fidget? Oh, a digit phone, Jeff. Digit. But
no, a fidget. Like a fidget spinner. You just spin it for just passing time.
Okay.
Haven't you come across one of those yet?
No. I've never heard of a fidget phone.
Oh, it was really funny. On Saturday Night Live, they had Trump on there, and all that was on his desk was a fidget spinner and a Russian translation to English book.
Well, let's not dive too deep into politics or we'll lose half our audience. Now, Jeff, what about yourself? When you're traveling these days, do you use Aira? Do you like to ask for sighted assistance to get to the gate and get through security, or do you use both?
That's a good question, because when I went to Toronto, I didn't know anything about it. And when I got there, my phone, because I was in a different country, Verizon did switch over, but it was really interesting at first. I had to reset a bunch of things to get good internet. So I just got some assistants to tell me, and the guy was going that way anyways. So I waited by the area because Nick was due in an hour later. So it worked out good there, the assistants at the airport. I did want to use Aira there because it is a free location. The Pearson, I believe it's Pearson YZZ Airport. That's the code in Toronto. But it worked out for me anyways. Like when Lori and I are traveling together and she uses Aira, she wants to go maybe get a drink, go get something. I become the luggage attendee. I sit there and she's gone. She comes back. She has food or a drink or something.
Well, the question that all the listeners are wondering is, does she also have food for you?
If he is really nice to me, I do bring him something back.
So I haven't experienced getting food brought to me yet, Brian.
Okay, well, we know Santa's not bringing you anything this year then.
You can gift Aira credits now, and it goes right to their phone right away. So check it out on Aira.io or download the app, and you'll see that for the holiday season, you can gift Aira credits.
That's funny, Jeff, that you mentioned you could gift Aira right now, because I might as well spoil it for both you and Lori. I got you guys a little gift for Christmas, and it is Aira credits. I sent you each 5 minutes, so you'll be getting 5 minutes to use with Aira.
You're the nicest guy ever. If you were on a trip with me, I would bring you back a cheeseburger.
Well, thank you very much. Well, Me, I'm still using the old school way. I just like to get a person to get me through the gate and everything. Aira's great. You can do it. I have done it, but I just find it's a little quicker for me to get that sighted assistance. I like no hassles. Just get me through security as quick as possible, which is not that quick. I'll dive into my adventure at the airport a little later. But my question to you, starting off, I guess, Lori, is I'm kind of curious when you're using Aira, what do you do if you've checked a bag, Lori? Have you used Aira to try and find your bag? And how has that gone?
Yes, I have. I typically, when I travel, I put some kind of indicator on my bag because a lot of baggages look, is baggages a word?
Baggage.
I don't even know. A lot of bags look similar. They have the grays, the blacks, the whatever. And I have a Swiss Army bag, and I have a bright green bandana that I tie onto the handle of my bag. So I flew to Phoenix and I used Aira all the way to baggage. And then as the bags were coming down the carousel, I had my Aira agent looking for my bag with the bright green bandana on it. Typically, too, when I go on a trip and I know I'm going to be using Aira, I will have a photo of my bag saved in my inbox for them to look at. And it took a couple times around, but they did find it. I think it's the coordination of them finding it and you trying to figure out when to reach. You know what I mean?
And it takes a little time with sighted assistance. That's a complete stranger finding your bag. I'm always the last bag for some reason. That's very true. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And remember, with the Aira agent or your assistant, just ask. Don't grab or reach.
It's typically a challenge anyway, so, I didn't feel like a failure.
Well, that's great. I've yet to use Aira to try to get my bag. Jeff, I've been using the good old sighted assistance. When you get off the plane, I like that person to be waiting for me because I'm impatient. I want to get to baggage claim and get to the cab line as quick as humanly possible. My question to you, Jeff, if you are using sighted assistance in the airport, the one thing I never know, am I supposed to be tipping that person that helps me? Because sometimes I feel yes, sometimes I feel no. What about yourself? If you do use sighted assistance in the airport, do you tip the person that helps you?
No.
I know she usually speaks to me. I've been known to have like little strings from my mouth that she operates when I'm talking. But when I go through and if I do get sighted assistance, it all depends on the difficulty. Like if I'm with them for over 15 minutes, because you're going from one terminal to the next terminal on a tram, over here, over there, and they're good conversationalists, it may happen that I do tip them. But if they're just going to take me to security where I go through that and someone will meet me out there, no, they barely left their position or their chair where they're sitting, So I usually don't do that. And some people, they just, this is my job. This is what I do. So they don't take it, But we were on this one incident where two people took us someplace. It was a huge airport. Where were we? Vegas? Orlando? I forget where it was. But these two guys took us a long ways. And they started mentioning how this is their job. They got to work. They were supposed to be retired. And they hope that people tip and stuff. So they were like leaning into it.
That's a little inappropriate.
It was Vegas.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
It was one of those situations. It got awkward. You're right.
Yeah, you thought that got awkward, Jeff. I recently flew to West Palm, and as the sighted assistance was leading me to go get my baggage, they said to me, there's a service called Aira where blind people that know how to use an iPhone can actually get people to help them and everything. So I thought that person got no tip. No, that really didn't happen. But can you imagine somebody saying that to you? Sighted assistance helping you, that there's a sighted service named Aira. But yeah, I noticed something on this last trip that you could now do, because I took a photo of my bag, put it in photos, used the 2-finger double tap and hold to label it luggage, and you could now tell Siri, open photo luggage, if you label it, and it opened it right away. So that's pretty cool. That's really cool. That's something I just discovered that you could do.
The other thing that she does is she has a picture of Matthew McConaughey as her husband, just in case that comes up sometime. And, I'm out.
She told me she labeled that open shirtless Jeff Thompson, and it's a photo of Matthew McConaughey that pops up.
Yeah, I'm still hoping that will happen for me.
You have your McConaughey hope. I have my Aniston hope. So it's nice to have dreams. I may start using Aira more because I was leaving West Palm and I was with two senior parents, one who has Alzheimer's. And I got to the gate to check into my JetBlue flight, and the person behind the counter at JetBlue basically told me, we only offer assistance for people in wheelchairs. I said, wait a minute. I've flown into this airport 15 times and I've had help before. They're like, no, we don't help blind people. We only help people in wheelchairs. So
isn't that discrimination?
I wasn't going to go into this. This guy was not a Mensa member, but I shouted at him. My dad with Alzheimer's raised holy hell, which was embarrassing. But I did what we should do. The next day, I contacted JetBlue. I did a Google search how to file a complaint. I was very calm, Jeff, amazingly enough. Filed my complaint. They ended up giving me $100 voucher. And I said,
So what you're saying is it only takes $100 to stop you from complaining? Huh.
The thing that concerns me is that the employees that work behind the counter are not getting the proper training because this individual was either just lazy or stupid. But that was my fun experience coming back from West Palm Beach to New York, that they no longer offers assistance to blind people.
Aira is changing the world.
Yeah, maybe it was an order from Aira.
No, it is a good service. I've used it there, especially like if you go in and you want to find something in one of the convenience stores. Some people, even though you may have some vision and stuff, when it comes to reading what exactly you're picking up, it would have helped Lori a long time ago. She brought in some snacks when she worked at Blind Incorporated, and she thought they were bad or something, and she put them on the table. What did they end up being, Lori?
So let's put this in context, please, before everybody thinks I'm an idiot.
Well, you did marry Jeff Thompson. I'm sorry.
It was April Fool's Day, but I didn't think that this was going to be an April Fool's Day joke at the time.
Not the marriage, the incident.
I went into CVS. Typically, I would have used a shopper, but I was just wanting some snacks, went to the snack area, seen these package of pepperonis. I thought, oh, yeah, that sounds good. So I took them to work. First break came along, opened them up, started chewing them, and I'm like, oh my God, these are horrible. So we had a little snack table, like a community table. I set them down there and I just said, hey, if anybody's interested, these are here. Go ahead and have them because I just don't like the taste of them. Oh, about 20 minutes later, one of the coworkers that I had are like, Lori, these are dog treats. They were pepperonis, not pepperonis.
Oh.
And I just said, April Fools.
But it wasn't April Fool's, correct?
It was April Fool's. Yes.
Oh.
But with your 5 minutes free from Aira or a 5-minute free gift from Brian, you could, decipher that before you make the purchase. Yeah.
I'm very generous this year.
I could actually buy Oreos this time, maybe.
I had the IRA experience, Lori, and I think I mentioned this on the show probably a year ago, where I got my groceries and I'm putting everything away, and I had ordered milk, and I'm like, this does not feel like the typical carton of milk. And I called up IRA and I said, is this milk? And they said, no, it's Drano.
Ooh, that could have been awful.
I had not ordered Drano with my groceries, so I guess the guy that delivers... And I tipped the guy that delivers. I don't know why he was trying to kill me with Drano
That's
instead
not
of
the
milk.
laxative of choice for New Yorkians, is it?
No, it is not. It is definitely not. Jeff, I know you and I both have the Bose Frame. And have you, obviously a lot in the news lately, Microsoft Soundscape is now working, I guess, in a certain way with Bose Frames, where you can connect your Bose Frames through the app, and Soundscape will give you directional info through the Bose Frames. Have you tested this out with your Bose Frames yet?
No, I haven't. I've updated my app and everything, and I'm ready to do it, and I've been listening to other people talk about it, and you experienced this, though.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you should listen to that Blind Tech show, because I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning. If you connect your Bose Frames through Microsoft Soundscape, make sure that they're telling you the right direction before you start using them, because I tested it 3 times, and I live between 44th and 45th Street, and the first 2 times I tested it, 44th Street was on the wrong side of me, so I still don't think they've got this GPS thing worked out fully. I love that they're trying it, but I was like, wait a minute. It was telling me Dillinger's Bar and Restaurant out of my left ear, and it was definitely to my right, 2 blocks to the right. So I don't know if they're having some GPS positioning locations, which brings me to another topic. Did either of you see the story that they are now finally updating the global positioning satellite over the United States, because I think they finally realized it sucks and it's off. Did you hear about that, Lori?
I have not. Thank you for letting me know that.
You're welcome. I don't know when it's going to work, but how lost has GPS ever gotten you?
When I was in Vegas for the NFB convention this last summer, they really tried to get me to take one of those autonomous cars, and I was so afraid to do it because, typically they don't know where the front door of something is. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's probably more frequent that it's off than not.
Yeah, you can't fully trust GPS. I remember years ago it said I was 150 feet from the restaurant I was going to. I was sitting at a table in the restaurant.
Wow.
Jeff, how about yourself? Has GPS ever landed you in Canada when you thought you were in Mexico?
No, it really hasn't. Do you remember when things used to say stuff like recalculating? Yeah. That was funny because you'd be in cars and someone would pull into a parking lot and go in a circle once and then they'd come back out so it would recalculate faster. You know, GPS is kind of cool. I mainly use it to look around to see what stores are in the vicinity. But when you're in a real compact area, it's going by the crow flies typically. So it may say it's in 800 feet, but if you're in Vegas, that could be a 45-minute walk.
Well, the other thing I noticed when I fired up Microsoft Soundscape, and I couldn't figure, I didn't play around with it a lot. I played around with it for, a couple times. I didn't find any way you could search for places in there. I think it's just telling you what's around you, but it told me one thing that was like a block away. It skips a lot of places. I'm in New York City. There's like 5 places, right next to me, and it was telling me places on the next block. Then everything was like 5 blocks down. Then it was 2 miles away. I really don't know what they're trying to do with Microsoft Soundscape because it skipped about 40 or 50 different places. I don't know. Maybe it's better in less condensed environments in New York City.
Well, I use Lyft frequently, and the address of my work is never the same address. You know what I mean? For my pickup spot.
Yeah, I have that with the Curb app. It constantly wants to put me on the wrong side of the street. When you're blind and you're waiting for a cab, it's very important that you have this side of the street correct.
I try and tell her to keep working the same corner, Brian. It's the same corner.
We're going to move on from that before Jeff gets slapped. But
Thank you.
The other thing I do notice is this is not blind specific. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a car with somebody, and obviously if I'm in a car with a friend that's driving, they constantly, it's giving me the wrong direction. So it's not just the blindness related GPS app. So that's what I'm hoping with this announcement that they are updating the global positioning satellite above the United States, or the several satellites, because I can't imagine it's one satellite helping all of us. I'm hoping that it's finally going to get more accurate and everything.
So do they send out a spatial tow truck out there and haul it to a new spot?
Jeff, no, it's a chimpanzee. You remember, all things in space are done with chimpanzees.
Sorry about that.
Should I be sending Jeff out there or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Serina Gilbert, where are you?
Oh, was there something more there, Jeff?
No, but Serina won't throw me under the bus. Oh, wait. Yeah, she does. Never mind. Let's move on.
I don't know if we really want to move on. Jeff, KNFB Reader, they finally updated it. Is it still on your phone? Do you care? Have you used it? And if not, what are you using to do your OCR these days?
I subscribe. I took advantage of one of their great deals. I got Envision AI. It's a great app. It's like a Swiss Army knife as well as Seeing AI. I like it. And they have a deal going on through the holidays right now. Envision AI, you can get some nice prices on it. That's what I've been using. KNFB Reader over the years since 2006 when they came out with the piggyback camera on the PDA. That was neat. That was interesting. And then it went into the software, into the phones, and then all the way to the iteration of being in the iOS and then the Google phone, Androids. It was really a great thing. And, the price was always there, some sales now and then. Plus they had designated support. Joel Zimba did a great job. It was really great for a while. And yet when Seeing AI came out, it just shut them down because free is hard to beat.
When Envision AI, do you have any idea how it compares? Because I use Voice Stream Scanner.
I think that's a pretty good one too. It's just that with Envision AI, when you get a good experience with something, you go, hey, that works really good. You go to it again, and until it just starts goofing up, I have a folder with about 4 or 5 different OCRs in there. Right now it's Envision AI. I mean, they all work pretty good, so that's where I'm at. And a big shout out to Karthik and Karthik. That's Envision AI on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Yeah, I use Voice. Is it Voice Stream or Voice Dream? I always forget.
Voice Dream.
Dream, okay. I always forget. I had a 50-50 chance of getting it right, and I got it wrong. I've been using that, and then whenever it doesn't work, I'll just quickly call up Aira as long as it's nothing financially related. How about yourself, Lori? What do you use these days as far as OCR?
Financially related. Are you talking like mail order brides, Brian?
Well, we won't disclose.
I use Seeing AI, and then for work, I will scan something to myself, and then Adobe Pro is fantastic.
What's Adobe Pro?
It's a software that works with Windows. So you can.
What's Windows?
You guys, come on. I'm in the employment world, and typically we use Windows PCs to complete our responsibilities for our employment.
Ah, so you're one of those people with one of those 9 to 5ers.
Yeah, I'm a 7 to 3:30 actually. It's really nice.
They have a 7 a.m.? I thought they only had a 7 p.m.
Actually, I got a reasonable accommodation to do a 7 to 3:30.
Wow, that's awfully early.
Yes, I'm at work at 6:30, but I use Scene AI and Aira sometimes. I'll be honest, I haven't used KNFB Reader in a very long time.
Yeah, Jeff finally, actually, this was about 3 months ago. Jeff finally, I was telling him what was on my main homepage, and I said KNFB Reader, and he's like, what's that still doing there? Yeah, unfortunately, it went downhill. It was great for a few years there. A little shocked they're still, I believe last I checked, I think they're still charging $100 for it. I would not advise anybody buy it. You have so many better, cheaper options out there, and they've kind of really dropped the ball on maintaining KNFB Reader. There was an update for it. It's been a long time, so we figured we'd mention it. Jeff, I don't make a lot of use of them. I played around with them when they first came out, but how about yourself? Are you using any Siri shortcuts?
I'm doing the same thing you did, Brian. I created a couple just to see how they worked. And, you got to take some time and figure this out. It's not just the easy tell it what to do. You have to be able to manipulate it from the categories they give you and then some other little features. And I had it so when I got home, when it noticed my location was coming home, it would tell me, get dinner ready by 4 p.m.
4 p.m.? What are you, 90?
Well, no, it meant get it started, get going on it. It was just kind of cool. But after a while, you go out in the yard, if you reach or go to the mail, you come back in, ding, it just keeps on going.
Kind of like living in an Ira hotspot.
Yeah. But, the thing is, you could narrow it down to only activate after 12 noon to 4 p.m. So some of these little details are, meticulous. I wish it was just easier that it would just pick up more on your patterns that you do live, and then you can incorporate that in a more easier fashion.
Machine learning, everything which I think is screwing up the iPhone, you want it to do more of.
Probably.
Well, here's a little disclaimer for the listeners out there, because like Jeff and probably like a lot of us, I first played around with Siri shortcuts and then I forgot about them. And I've gotten to the point where when apps break accessibility, I kind of lose patience if I have other apps that do what they will do. So I had Dark Sky, which for years had good accessibility, not great. And they finally, 4 or 5 updates in a row, broke all accessibility. So I deleted the app from my phone, and I've been traveling and I'd want to know the weather. And I kept asking, what's the weather? And I kept getting my watch and my phone saying, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. I'm like, wait a minute. When did Siri stop telling you what the weather is? And it just occurred to me that maybe I had that as an old Siri shortcut. So sure enough, if you create a Siri shortcut with the phrase, what's the weather, and have it attached to an app like Dark Sky, and then you go and delete the Dark Sky app, instead of just deleting the shortcut, it stays in there, but it completely stops working. So I changed that, and I couldn't even figure out how to just delete it. The Dark Sky shortcut, I would have loved to have just deleted it from the phone. I didn't play around with it for a while. I changed it to forecasting because that's nothing I'd ever say. As soon as I changed the key phrase to forecasting, I asked what's the weather, and both my watch and phone started giving me an answer again. That's a little weird, isn't it, Jeff?
Well, yeah. I mean, something that you don't think about. And that's what shortcuts to me is, something that I used. But Nick was telling me that he uses one for work. He has a shortcut because he does a lot of scanning. He fills shelves and stocks boxes, and for identification uses the barcodes. So he has just a command. When he says a command, it just scans. He doesn't have to go through the process of tapping on the phone. So I see it can work for people for unique situations. And, I suggest exploring some of these. There's an app out there right now that they actually pre-developed the shortcuts, and you can buy into that. And that app is called Toolbox Pro, and it's available in the App Store. It's interesting, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah, I don't find them terribly useful, but if they're, I'm sure they're useful for some people. I mean, I've never understood the one where it suggests like a shortcut for call mom. Why can't you just say to Siri, call mom? I mean, that's the shortcut and everything. So.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. By the way, my iPhone now, which is talking in my ear, is now trying to call my mom. No idea. I guess I have the AirPods in my ear, which have the...
There you go.
No, Mom, I'm calling you by mistake. We're live podcasting. I was demonstrating, and it
Hi,
decided
Mom.
to call
Hi,
you.
Mom.
Jeff and Lori say hello. I'm on a podcast right now, and the phone accidentally called you live on the air. So, yeah, bye. Mom says hello. So, I forgot these AirPods have the HS feature in them.
Oh, yeah. No, what happened to me? I am chair of the State Rehab Council of Minnesota, and I was using my AirPods, and it's really nice with the AirPod Pros. And by the way, I am a member of the AirPod Pro Pals Club.
I am too.
Yeah. Anyways, every time I would say, do I hear a second? My Siri would go off in my ears louder than, it's a little louder than your typical volume.
Was it saying, what can I help you with?
No, it was telling me there is no internet connection. Please connect to the internet, because I had it on airplane mode, because all I'm doing is reading my reports, my notes, and the agenda. About 4 times during the meeting, when I asked for a second, boom, it would go off and just scare the heck out of me.
Well, now when people ask trivia, whose mom has been on That Blind Tech Show, I could say me. So, although you couldn't hear her, that was very bizarre. I guess I'm wearing the AirPods with the HS feature in them. So we talk about described video a lot, and I know you guys saw it, so I figured I'd throw it in here because we talked about it on our last episode. I thought the described video was fantastic. I really enjoyed the movie. Almost everybody I know has seen it. Lori, how did you enjoy The Irishman, or did you not?
I did not watch it.
Oh, I thought Jeff and you watched it. Jeff was flying solo on that?
I started watching it, and it just wasn't my thing.
Oh.
It was 3 hours, and I was reading a really...
3.5.
Yeah, I was reading a really good book during that time, Gone Girl, so I opted out. And
I saw that movie too.
Yeah, and I laid in bed and read my book.
Oh, you're no fun. Book readers. What do you have in education? Anyway, Jeff, what were your thoughts of The Irishman and the described video involved with The Irishman?
I thought it was really good to come right out of the blocks, boom, there it is. You got described video. I watched it on day 1. When do you remember audio description coming out on day 1? I mean, Harry Potter did not come out with audio description on day 1. Sorry, kids. But I really liked it. It was 3.5 hours. Yeah, it was long, but it was kind of a neat thing because we've all, anyone who's been around as long as we have, Brian, that was a big thing about, where's Jimmy Hoffa?
And not to ruin it for people, but in the end, Jimmy's dead,
Disappeared.
But I actually, and I'm not going to name drop, but there were 4 people in the movie that I've met/known that I know. So that was kind of cool. Now, the coolest thing was that it was, and that seems to be the trend nowadays. Netflix has 2 or 3 other big movies that they've produced. They'll be in the theaters for about 10 days, and then they'll be dropping on Netflix. And I'm assuming they'll all have described video, as it seems almost everything Netflix comes out with has described video. And it's just great to be able to talk, like almost everybody I know, or a lot of people I know, saw this movie the day before Thanksgiving. We just talked about it a little at Thanksgiving dinner. They saw it the day after. And it's just great. It's inclusion. It's universal design. It's inclusion. And hopefully this is the trend of most things, Jeff.
Yeah, especially like with The Morning Show, which is on Apple TV Plus. You make a great point there. We're part of the conversation along with everybody else. We're not 3 weeks behind. We're right there. It's a great time to be in for audio description.
Yeah, it's really cool and everything. And even though Lori didn't see The Irishman, we'll just leave her out of this next part too, because she is not in our Yahoo Fantasy Football League, which just wrapped up the regular season, Jeff. And 3 of the 4 of us that have been, 6 teams in our 12-team leagues go to the playoffs. And we may have a spot or 2 open next year, so reach out to us, around August time, because we pretty much have a lot of people return. But Jeff made the playoffs. I made the playoffs. Nick is in second place and got a first-round bye. Unfortunately, Serina did not make the playoffs. But
Nick is in first place.
Oh, he's in first place. Well, first and second, same thing, get a first-round bye. So, that means, if I win my matchup and you win your matchup, I think you would get Nick in the next round. But, Jeff, not the playoffs, but what were your overall thoughts about, again, playing, this is, I think, the 4th season of the Blind Abilities Yahoo Fantasy Football All-Blind League. What were your thoughts about playing Yahoo Fantasy Football this season?
I owe it to the app. Yahoo has a great fantasy football app where I'm able to go through and actually get updates throughout the week, questionable, doubtful, healthy, and I'm able to go through and actually look up and read a little bit about what kind of injury is it. Is it a groin injury? Is it a hamstring? Or is it an ankle broken? So you get an idea if you should be looking for a new player. You get to go check all the other teams and see what's trending, and if you need a new player, it's down there. It's totally accessible, and I want to thank you, Brian, for ensuring that they keep the accessibility accessibility up with that, because I know you've had a part of that. You reviewed the app, and I'm glad when I first got involved with it over the years that that app has brought me back, because before, back in the day, we used to use a piece of paper, pencil, and the Wednesday evening news, Thursday morning, check for injury reports and players and who's activated, who's not, and all that stuff. That was a tough thing to do for if you were visually. And now I'm back in it, and I'm a contender.
Contender, exactly. Yeah, it's a little weird. I need to get a life, because I think Yahoo Fantasy is the first app I open in the morning and probably the last app I check, at least during football and baseball season. I am doing fantasy hockey with some friends. We have a bar league over here. I don't know that much about hockey, but I'm learning. And now they've really done a tremendous job, because they're constantly updating the app, and have to give a shout out to the team out there in California over in Sunnyvale. They do a tremendous job of checking the accessibility. I can't tell you that it's been a while since they've broken something with an update. You know, they've made some changes where you just have to learn where they've moved some things to, but they've really done a good job, and they'll reach out to me. They get emails from the blindness community all the time, and they're like, hey, do you happen to know an answer to this? And a lot of times I do, which is kind of, it's nice to have people to reach out to. And, you know, Yahoo is now owned by the Verizon Media Group, and VMG is very committed to accessibility and universal design across the board. And it's just great. It's the world's greatest waste of time. People keep saying, whatever happened to that book you were going to write? And I tell them, well, if I never got into fantasy, maybe I would have gotten around to writing that book.
There you go. You know, talking about accessibility of apps, people go shopping. There's Instacart, there's other things, but some stores offer the availability to pick up groceries. And, you know, you're always asking about the accessibility of stuff. And we've used Sam's Club, the app, where you can go through and you can scan everything, and you can avoid the cash register by hit pay, and it gets charged your account. And then they just scan your phone and a couple of items in the thing. But Lori today, she ordered everything, and they actually cart it, and then you can go pick it up. But she ran into a problem.
Yeah, and the one thing I've learned over time is the less I have to deal with people, the better. But Lori, what happened with your Sam's Club experience?
So a couple weeks ago, I was busy and my kids were busy, and I wanted to just do a list and then go pick it up. So I went in and I was able to choose my items and put them in my cart. However, once I made my list, I realized that it was going to be like a day or two before I could go pick it up. And I'm like, you know, I want it today. So I realized that
Amazon has ruined us all.
Yeah. So I realized that that's how they roll. So today, after discussing some scheduling with the kid, I went into Sam's thinking, okay, I'll go in and I'll produce my list and get it ready, and then we can go swing by and pick it up tomorrow. So I went into my Sam's Club app, went up to the top right corner and hit cart, and I realized that the things that I had put in my cart previously were still there. However, it was just giving me the item number. It wasn't telling me what the product was. Well, I don't know these products. By
Lori,
item
did you
numbers.
not have them memorized? Exact item product number?
Yeah. So I had to use one of my kids to look inside the cart to see what was in there, because like I said, it was just the item number and not the product. So I had no idea what was in there. I mean, I can place things in there, but I can't go back in and review what was in there.
So the moral of the story is, if you're blind, it's important to have sighted kids to help you. Is that what no.
I believe if you ask your Amazon device, you could just say, hey lady, put a sighted kid in my cart. But I believe that would have to be same day delivery. Yeah.
That's horrible. I mean, I've noticed this in several apps or websites, and there's nothing more frustrating when you could do the full shopping experience, but when you go to check out, you can't get through it because you've just wasted all your time.
Yes, that's exactly right. I mean, and you know, if the kids are busy, I would take a lift over and pick it up. But you know, if I have the availability to use one of my kids, I'm going to use it, you know?
Now, have you or do you plan to reach out to Sam's Club customer service, or it's just not worth it?
I will, because I spend a lot of money at Sam's every year. I have the Premium Plus membership, and I want that option. So I will reach out to them.
I remember years ago when I used to get my dog food, not for me, for my dog, on Petco. I went on their website and I added everything to my cart. Went and hit checkout, and the checkout process was completely inaccessible, and I haven't shopped there again. So,
were you ordering pupperinos?
Touché, Jeff. Good callback. Yeah, because I like to eat them, and I like to give them to my fellow employees. And
they're kind of gritty. I wouldn't recommend it.
The only time I've ever eaten dog food is when I saw Star Wars in the theater and we had this huge tub of popcorn and I got up to go to the restroom and I thought a piece of popcorn was on my shirt and it ends up it was one of Nash's treats had fallen out of the pouch. I started spitting on the floor in the movie theater. The thing was so disgusting and dry. So it wasn't purpose. Jeff, how about yourself?
No, I've never spit on the floor at a movie theater.
You should really try it. I mean, if you have dog food in your mouth, it's the only way to get it out. So
I don't think there's a 5-second rule in a movie theater.
No, dude, your phone. You ever notice the noise, the noise your shoes make in old movie theaters? I don't even want to know what that is sticking to and everything. Well, Jeff, we know that you did not shop at Sam's Club on Cyber Monday or Black Friday, but did you do any shopping on those fake holidays?
Yes, I did, and I was really excited about it because I just didn't go on there to buy stuff I didn't need. I wanted to get a Nest thermostat a learning thermostat for my garage because I have a furnace out there, and I happened to come across this YouTube video where a guy actually hooked one up to it, and I had the same furnace. So that was neat. So I was looking for it, and one day, down from $249, it was at $179, and I thought, I'm going to do that. But I waited till Cyber Monday and it went to $139. Now, for something to drop $110, that's not bad. That's not bad. So I did order that. I was very cautious about, being too eager and impulsive. So I liked what I got, and I'm going to hook it up for winter.
And I just realized this is kind of a hard conversation to have with two married people on the show because they may have gotten each other gifts. So
I just want to know if there was anything for me.
Yeah, I just realized. It just occurred to me. So what about yourself there, Lori? Do you do any shopping on the busiest shopping days of the year that are not in July?
No, unfortunately, I did not. I worked that day, and they kind of frown upon shopping.
Well, there were 2 days, Friday and Monday.
Friday, I did do some shopping. I ordered some stuff for my brother-in-law and my stepdaughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we won't disclose in case your whole family, because I imagine the Thompson family Christmas is probably, before you do open any of the gifts, is spent listening to the latest episode of That Blind Tech Show.
Yeah.
So, that's a given.
You betcha, with cookies and milk.
I don't have to worry about my family listening because they just don't care unless I'm calling them live on the show. But I picked up because I'm seeing my nieces for like the first time in about 5 years. We're real close. I got them the Nintendo Switch, which I guess I'll check out when they're there because I got them that game Mario Kart, which seems to be all the rage. And I'm curious to see if it has any kind of accessibility built into it. So hopefully I'll be able to report on a future show whether or not the Nintendo Switch, because it seems to be pretty popular device, whether or not it has any way that us blindies could play it. Oh, yeah. That's my poor attempt at Tim Allen. We're all about Gidgets and Gadgets and Gidgets and Gadgets here. So, Jeff, and I know a couple of these we're probably going to all agree on since we love the same things. What was your first favorite Gidget or Gadget of 2019?
Oh, my gosh. That'd be this year. Gidget or gadget that I'm still using that's not just sitting in the drawer? Yeah, that's a shocker. I'm not ready for that one. Yeah, I'll pass.
How can you not answer, Jeff? Number one answer on the board. It's like the Family Feud. The answer we were looking for is the Bose Frames was the number one answer on the board. These things just keep getting better and better. I now have multiple pairs of them. I have one hanging by my door. I mean, I just love them so much. And, even before the airplane, before it takes off, you could be just listening to things and everything. Jeff, are you not still loving your Bose Frames?
I'm really loving my AirPod Pros.
That was number 5 answer on the board. So you're still in the game.
I'm still in the game. That's number 5, huh? No, I really like them because I like being able to listen to things around me or shut it off. I was at the gym the other day and I was on a spin cycle, and I was not of a washing machine. I was on a bicycle that they call spinning. And when I turned on the noise cancellation, let me get that right.
Don't confuse them with the crappy Amazon.
And I turned on the noise cancellation. I was just like, gone. Everything was gone. I couldn't even hear the bike. I couldn't even hear it. And I was pedaling, folks, and it was gone. So I was able to listen to my book, and, it was pretty good. Or podcasts. Of course, I was listening to That Blind Tech Show over and over again. So,
question for my fellow AirPod Pro pal. Did you make use of the noise cancellation on your trip to Canada on the flight?
It worked well.
I thought it worked really good, yeah.
It was amazing. 17F. I was in 17F D. 17D is a smaller
Was it
plane.
D or F? We need to know.
The point is, I was right over the wing, and that's probably the loudest spot, right against the window, right over the wing, and it was beautiful. Usually I put on my Bose over the ear ones, the cord and everything. I have the older ones, the 3 something, and those were great. I like that. These did work though. They did work. Then I took them out later just to, use the other ones because I like the other ones because I will nod off a little bit, and I just didn't feel comfortable nodding off with those on an airplane.
Yeah, I'm still afraid they might, even though they won't, I'm still afraid they might fall out of my ear and then, that sort of thing. But
on an airplane, that's a tough reach to go down and try and find them.
Especially when your guide dog's down there and may eat them. But no, he wouldn't eat them. I traveled overnight. Friday travel to West Virginia. Boy, that was fun. And when I say fun, I mean not. Found the one place in the country you could not fly direct to from New York City. And I just took an overnight bag on the flight. So I didn't bring my noise I took the AirPod Pros and they worked fantastic. I was really impressed with the noise cancellation. Lori, has Jeff let you play around with his AirPod Pros? Because you're not in the PAL program yet.
No, he has not. But I do have the Bose sunglasses.
Oh, sorry. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I apologize.
You cut me off before I could get it out there, buddy.
I didn't know you had them. So what are your thoughts of the Bose Frames? Well, let's go back in time, Huey Lewis style.
That would be the Bose Frames Shadecasters Club.
Yes.
I like them a lot. They have great sound. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm not wearing them currently because of the winter time. I didn't know what the cold air would do to them. You know what I mean?
Minnesota's a little different. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But I do like them a lot because I can wear them and still hear what's going on around me. I can hear if the train's coming. I can hear if there's another dog jingling down the street and getting Logan's attention.
Like I said, #1 product of the year, Bose Frames. I didn't look to see if they went on sale because I have multiple pairs now since one of mine broke. And if they do break, Lori, mine broke. I just called up Bose and they had me send them back and they sent me a replacement pair free of charge. So that was really cool.
Brian, while I was at AMI, I let everyone try out the Bose because some of them hadn't experienced it. And that wow factor when they finally hear the sound and where it's coming from, and it's like they want to inspect it again and put them back on and just wow, it's in my head. It's really a cool experience, especially that first time you hear it speak.
I'm loving them. And #3 answer on the board, which I didn't think either of you would guess because I don't think you have it. The answer we were looking for was the Echo Show 5, which is a really cool. People are like, well, why do you need a video screen if you can't see it? And it's just nice on my bedstand. If I want to listen to something on Amazon Prime Video, I just say it. And the cool thing is you could say, play Family Ties Season 1, Episode 15. If you remember where you left off.
Do you think back at Amazon headquarters, do you really think that the designers of the Echo Show 5 or the Echo Show 8 said, now you can listen to videos from Prime on these? And they said, oh, we should have that on just the Echo. And everyone thought, who'd want to do that?
Exactly. They're not thinking like Microsoft and Bose partnering. You got to think about us blindies, or it's nice to listen to. One thing I will tell you, since it is the holiday season and people may still be getting each other gifts, I don't know, on Cyber Monday, the Echo Show 5, I believe, was down to $50. I think it started at $129. And the cool thing that we discovered, it's very simple if you want to get this as a gift for somebody, because when you order a Echo or A-Lady device, it's automatically synced up and registered to your account. But if you go into the A-Lady app and you click settings, then devices, and you click that specific device, there is a reset to factory settings, and that will disconnect the device. You don't even have to open the box, which I thought was really cool. You could just simply disconnect it from your account and then give it away as a gift. So I thought that was something that was really cool.
That is kind of interesting that when you do receive a fire or something like that, it's already set up for your account. That is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really cool.
So we could re-gift the 3 Echoes that we have.
Yeah, I've got one in my closet. Yeah.
Brian, I thought for sure you would bring your Echo Dot with you when you came out of the closet.
I love it.
An Echo Dot. I have more Echo A-Lady devices than I have rooms,
And you only have one Google device, right?
I only have one, yeah, because I only really use it. The best thing that I noticed Google that blows the A-Lady out of the water is when you're asking for 800 phone numbers.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, you've really moved up. It used to be 900 phone numbers for you.
Yeah, but now, they've really kind of gone out of existence. And ever since my dad said, why is this phone bill so expensive? I don't know. It must be a wrong number. when I was like 12. So I stopped using those, Jeff.
Ah.
Have you guys come up with an answer, or should I just keep going through the Family Feud Gidgets and Gadgets? I have 2 more on my board of acceptable answers. I don't know if you guys have thought of anything.
Well, we hate to be wrong, so let it go, Brian. Let it go.
Let it go.
He's talking for me again. I think the Nest thermostat that we got is really pretty good. I'm always like turning down the thermostat and he's always turning it up.
Wow.
That's why we need his and hers.
His and hers thermostats and everything.
And after this podcast, I'll probably be out in the garage. That's why I got one for out there.
Well, now we know why you were looking for the thermostat for the garage. Mm-hmm. Lori, how much does Jeff Thompson sleep in the garage?
Well, starting tonight, a lot.
I think we've gotten across 3 answers so far. And actually, you know what? You may agree with acceptable answer number 4 that we both have, and I absolutely love. And I love it even more since last night because there's something new they just introduced, the Ring alarm. I really enjoy my Ring alarm. How about, Lori, what are your thoughts of the Ring alarm? I'll start with you because I know you have it there.
I like it. I like to know when my kids come home at night. That's what I like it for.
Ah, okay. What about you, Jeff? What are your thoughts on the Ring alarm?
I really like it to find out when my wife actually gets home at night. But seriously, I really like it. No matter where I am, I was in Vegas and I could tell that on a Friday night that the back door was opening up every 5 minutes. It was like crazy. I said, Justin must be having a party or something. So the next day, Lori was talking on the phone. He says, did you have a party last night? Oh, I had some friends over. We were playing D&D in the back patio.
D&D? What's your kid, a nerd? No offense.
So... And then she goes, because Jeff gets a message every time the door opens. So he went to the front door and opened it up 10 times right in a row. And I was in a meeting. I asked Lori, I said, did you tell Justin? So I sent him a message, stop blanking with me. And he sent me a big red heart.
Kids are so screwed today. I mean, how do they sneak out of the house, Lori?
Well, my kids are 20 and 23, so they can leave and never come back, and I would be okay with it.
How do younger kids sneak out of the house these days? I don't know how kids get away with anything anymore, you know.
Well, they wouldn't leave with their phone, would they?
I snuck out of the house so much when I was a kid, you know, and I had some pretty sneaky things that I was able to do, and you wouldn't be able to get away with any of it anymore.
You mentioned Minnesota being cold, right? I mean, the kids leave. They're wearing a thin jacket. They're wearing no gloves, no boots. They've got tennis shoes on, maybe even flip-flops in the dead of winter. And I tell them, what are you going to do if something happens, like in the car? I got my iPhone. I mean, that's their first line of defense, survival.
I don't go anywhere without it, and multiple batteries. My one recurring nightmare is that my battery dies. I don't know why, because it's never happened. And I've got a case that charges the phone, which I would have accepted. I got this great case this year, and I would suggest that to anybody out there, if you're going to get a case, get one that charges the phone. You could get them for about $20-25, and it's just nice to, be able to charge the phone when you're using it and everything. So
that's all we need is another 13 ounces to carry around.
Hey, I only use it when I need to charge the phone. Yeah, it's in my backpack. I use it a lot on Sundays because I'm checking football scores and my teams so much that I really drain the phone down, constantly opening apps. But getting back, though, to the Ring alarm, I have, you guys haven't had this issue with the sensors going offline. And the thing that drives you nuts about the sensors going offline is you cannot set the alarm from the A-Lady. Well, last night I went to set the A-Lady alarm and I got the typical cannot set. For some reason, my left bedroom window was offline. But finally, it said, would you like to set your alarm and bypass anyway, which it had never done that before. So I think that's a new feature. And, it's okay if one of my sensors is offline. I just have to open up the window and reset it. Sometimes you just don't want to deal with it and everything. So that's something cool. So it looks like they might be modifying that. So if you are having one sensor that's having an issue, it looks like now you should be able to bypass it through the A-Lady. The final answer that we were looking for, Jeff, which I know you're going to be so excited to hear. There was something I was waiting for all summer to come out. It never came out. Well, while I was in Florida, I got a news alert that it came out. The TiVo Wi-Fi adapter, Jeff. How excited are you that TiVo has now come out with a Wi-Fi adapter so I can now connect my TV in the bedroom to my TiVo? And I'll leave it at that. How excited are you about that, Jeff? That's what I expected. You see what I have to put up with, Lori?
I'm feeling you.
He doesn't care about me. Doesn't care about my TiVo. But I'm very excited about that, to now have TiVo in my bedroom. I just need to get it all set up.
That's great. I watch a lot of TV on my phone.
What app are you using to watch it on your phone? Do you use your cable?
Yep, we have Xfinity, so I use the Stream app. So in the morning, the first thing I do is turn on the news, jump in the shower, get my daily dose of what's going on in the city, get in the traffic report, get in the weather, walk out and go to work, and I'm ready for the day. And I can have a good conversation on the bus because I know what's going on in the world.
You're informed, as the kids like to say. You are informed.
Yes, sir.
So,
At the rate I'm going on this podcast, I'm sure glad I got good connectivity out in the garage.
I have Prime, HBO Now, Disney Plus, all those on my phone.
how are you liking the Disney Plus?
It's okay. Prime and Disney Plus are probably the better accessible ones. Have you used the HBO Now application?
I don't, because I have it on my TV. I don't really watch movies through there, but I do watch a couple. Actually, most of the shows I watch are now on Showtime, but not. I know they're the same company.
So the HBO Now is, you can't swipe your finger to go to the next title or whatever. So you've got to kind of touch with your finger and then maybe 2 or 3 fingers swipe up to get to the next one.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
it can be done though.
You can do, I'm pretty sure, is go into the TV app on Apple and search if you know the title you're looking for, and then that should automatically start playing in the HBO app.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, so try that out and everything. I'm a big fan of the TV app. Fortunately for me, my cable provider, Spectrum, has partnered with Apple, so I could launch anything. So the Spectrum TV app, and this is something really cool, which I have not seen from too many video apps. Spectrum released an update either yesterday or the day before, and it specifically said in the update notes, fixes an issue for voiceover users that makes it easier to rewind on-demand content. How cool is that?
That's really cool.
Oh, that brings back that old sign, please rewind your VCR, or there'll be a $1 charge.
Yeah, very specific. So I was really impressed because Spectrum, when they were Time Warner, had a horrible commitment to accessibility, but Spectrum just keeps impressing me with their commitment to accessibility and everything. So yeah, that was really cool to see right there in the release notes for the update to the app and everything. And unfortunately for everybody else out there, if you don't have Spectrum, you can't watch the new latest season of Mad About You, which I've yet to dive into yet, but I plan to over the next few weeks. So
I love
that
Mad
was
About
pretty cool.
You.
Yeah, season set. They just have a new season just come out, but I think it's only 10 episodes. But
With the original actors?
with the original actors, and I did see a tweet from Paul Reiser that said, we're sorry that this is only hitting such a limited audience right now, but we plan to get it out to everybody. So
Awesome.
I'm sure it'll end up on Netflix or something, but right now it's only available to Spectrum cable customers. So
On Apple TV Plus, The Servant has just dropped, and that's a movie kind of like Stranger Things a little bit. I haven't seen it yet, but I might tap into it.
I did see a report, don't quote me on this, some people saying that the 3rd or 4th episode came out without described video. I don't know if that was user error.
Huh. That's interesting because I just checked it out today, and Servant on Apple TV Plus has 4 episodes, 4th being the latest one out, and all of them have audio description.
I did see somebody chatting about that somewhere. You know, it's not all about me, even though Jeff thinks it is, because we got a very nice email in once again from my favorite listener in India, Kissin, and I do apologize, Kissin, if I am mispronouncing that. What's pissing Kissin off? In India, I guess you could get your Netflix titles with described video, but unfortunately, Amazon does not have any standard global policy for described video, and in India, you cannot, and I'm assuming it's this way in a lot of countries, get your content with described video. So we want to fire a shot at Amazon to start providing their descriptive track globally, even if it's only in English, right, Jeff?
Hoon Loopsy. Absolutely.
I'm glad this came up because I watch Prime a lot on my phone, and I don't get audio description on my phone. Is there a setting I'm supposed to be clicking?
Yeah, you need to pause
Okay.
the track, and I think when you pause, it goes into, it brings up like, you know, the few options. One will be subtitles, one is audio. You go down to audio, and like the second one is English described video or narrative. I forget. Every service labels it differently, but yeah, you can get it on the phone because I've gotten it and everything. And it's you know,
Thank you, Brian.
a lot of times we're a little spoiled here. We only talk about ourselves here in the United States. States, so we do apologize about that. But let's start making this stuff global, people. I know, and that's one thing that Apple's done a phenomenal job with the Apple TV Plus and having descriptive video in so many different languages. Jeff, Lori, since we went through everybody else.
Whoa. When you say everybody else, what you really mean is we went through you.
Lori, before we end this show, is anything pissing you off besides being on the show with me? Is not an acceptable answer.
This has been the best experience of podcasting ever for me. I just want to say.
Is it your first experience podcasting?
Well, I mean, I've done interviews. I mean, I've been in interviews, but to be a co-host, I mean, wow, put my name up in lights. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to have to get business cards now.
That would be guest host.
Guest host. Yeah.
Jeff, just give me a few times, okay? And then you're out of here.
Ooh.
Lori, what do you have coming up in the coming weeks for the holidays? Any big plans? Anything exciting going on?
Well, I have a few more things to purchase and get them shipped off this week to family in Illinois and Ohio. But that's about it. Work. I am taking a few days off during the Christmas holiday from work. Yeah, just a little bit of shopping.
Not on Sam's Club.
No. Gonna try and lose a few more pounds so I can pig out on Christmas Day and not feel guilty about it. But that's it.
I know Jeff there has, I don't know if you want that to be public knowledge, but Jeff has been doing quite some impressive stuff. What have you been up to, Jeff?
He's been pissing me off by losing more weight than me.
Well, Brian, as you remember, I had an emergency room visit where I had an impaction in my esophagus, and with the endoscope, they were able to go down to verify that was it and to remove the impaction. So after 3 or 4 visits to the doctor, they realized that I had a disease in my esophagus that this heartburn medication would actually clear up the problem. But I wanted to go a step further, and with Lori's friend and Lori telling me about this video titled Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dying, it's a juicing.
Steroids.
Yeah, juicing concept of eating fruits and vegetables, a plant-based type of diet that allows your body to reboot itself. And so I started that 45 days ago, and I've lost 34 pounds in the process. But most importantly, and this is my goal, I'm breathing good. I haven't had any problems with coughing. I feel alert. I feel alive. And I admit I have this newfound energy that hadn't been there for a while. And I'm going to take this into February, March, because I really want to make good decisions about what I'm eating. So now that I've cut out dairy, grains, and meats, I can start to incorporate some of those in. But I'm going to basically maintain a plant-based diet, maybe 60-70% plant-based diet. You know, we're talking fruits and vegetables, salads. It's not that I am praising this or trying to get anybody to do any of this. This is what's working for me. What works for anyone else is what, you know, some people are gluten sensitive. Some people are lactose intolerant, whatever it is. I don't know what it is right now, but this reboot is really working wonders for me. I feel good about it, and I'm going to keep going on it, and it's really exciting for me.
How's that juice diet work if you add vodka to all the juicing?
Well, Brian, that would become the Bloody Mary diet. Yep.
So what about yourself there? Even though I imagine I hope you'll be with Lori through the holidays, so we kind of have a sneak peek of what's coming up for Mr. Jeff Thompson.
Well, I did get the lights on the trees out front. I have 26 arborvitae trees, and they're the narrow 3-foot. They get to about 12 feet tall, but they're not that tall yet. But each year they're growing, and I had to buy 3 new strands last year and 4 new strands this year. So I have 20 trees right across the front, all dressed up in Christmas lights. And it's a process. It's taken me 3 years to be efficient as I am at it now, but that's one thing. And, you know, the holidays coming up. My daughter and the grandkids will be coming up, so that's going to be a fun time right around Christmas time. And it's just, you know, it's a family type of deal, you know, the Christmas trees up and that type of thing. So, you know, ding, ding, ling, ding, ding, ling, ding, 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 you know, that stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm that guy that says you don't happen to have anything besides Christmas music. You know, which never really seems to go over very well at people's houses, but
every year you do it.
Yeah. Well, it's always at different people's houses because I never get invited back.
Have you heard the new Taylor Swift Christmas song?
No, I at least have finally heard of Taylor Swift. I do like that one song, "Haters Gonna Hate." You know, that's kind of catchy, but I can't name any other song.
Doesn't she use auto-tune on that Christmas song, though? I know Cher got away with it, but...
What, you gonna turn back time? Well, that's the only Cher song I know.
Just like Jesse James.
Oh.
Never heard that song?
I really love Cher.
No.
Oh, I like me some Bon John.
Living on a prayer.
Laurie's kid Justin has every Bon Jovi song. John Bon Jovi and Bon Jovi.
Is he the one that plays D&D? Because if he,
Yes.
as long as he, oh yeah. See, I thought I was gonna like him, but I never got into D&D. So I'm headed back to Florida. It's so funny.
Wait.
Oh.
Brian, what do you got going on?
You know, it's so nice to be included and asked for a change. I actually just landed here Wednesday, and in 2.5 weeks, I'm turning around and going back to Florida with the parents getting up there in age where sister's coming in with all the kids and her husband. So, because my mom's dealing with a lot, my sister and I don't see eye to eye, and that's not a blindness joke. I know I need to bite my tongue and just step outside when she annoys me, and I'll be in Florida for about 4 or 5 days, and then I'm going up to my buddy's Christmas party in D.C., and it's a college buddy of mine, and should be fun staying with him for a few days. Like I said, never do Christmas twice in places, and we'll see if I get invited back next year because they have a New Year's Eve party, and so it should be fun. So we'll be traveling around all over the place again.
You know, I just want to wish everybody out there a happy holiday. I know you'll probably hear from us, between now and then, but everyone have a safe one. Good time to spend with family as people get older and the new ones coming along. I know the nieces and nephews of Brian's all say, is Brian going to be there again?
No, the nieces like me because I get them good gifts.
Oh.
Didn't you hear? The Nintendo Switch, so they're going to love that.
That's right.
And everything. I'm the cool, good uncle.
That's not a cheap gift.
But we really should put out a disclaimer, though, as we end this show. Unless, Lori, do you want to say something before I go into the final bit?
No, just that, I would like to wish everybody a happy holiday and happy new year and be safe and remember what Christmas is all about. Love and peace.
And yelling at your family.
No, I'll just yell at Jeff.
And the last thing we want to say, we know that some blind people, will have a drink or two during the holiday season. And we just ask, if you're blind and you have a drink or two, you definitely don't get behind the wheel.
Let your dog do the driving.
And for now, we are out.
Be sure to follow That Blind Tech Show on Twitter at Blind Tech Show and drop us an email at thatblindtechshow@gmail.com. Be sure to enable the blind ability skill on your Amazon device just by saying enable blind abilities. I want to thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations and the realities of blind abilities.
The realities of blind
abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.